His stuff here, Yerushalmi Shabbos in the article Oz V'Har Additional Dav Chaf Amrav, the second line down, Rabbi Avo, which in the Vilna is on Tes Zayin Amrav, the 13th line down. Rabbi Avo. Shonli Rabbi Yonaseh Menachmai. Rabbi Avo said, Rabbi Yonaseh Menachmai taught me the following. Pas Kohen Shoyso Menes Erev Shabbos Im Chashecha, a daughter of a Kohen, who studied Erev Shabbos as the night was falling beyond the Nair, and she had a candle in her hand, Tocha Shem Sreifa, which had as oil, as fuel, Shem Sreifa, Truma, which as we have seen, actually see formally in the Mishnah today, in the next Mishnah, you're not allowed to light Chavod Shabbos. She has even a minimal amount of regular oil into it, Matleka said she can light with this candle. Amalei Rabbi Zira said to Rabbi Avo, this fellow, Rabbi Yonaseh ben Achmoi, Umativa, what is his Mavative? What is his quality? In other words, I never heard it before. What's his status? Amalei said, Adam Karohia. He was a very great, he was a great man. Ubaki Mishosenohia, and he was well conversing with our Mishnayos. Upirs Rabbi Chia the Kfar Tchimin Kume Rebbe, and the Rabbi Chia told that Rabbi Yonason ben Achmai said before the Kobe says Rav Rebbe, who presumably this is after the time of the Rebbe, Umanise Chachim, and he appointed him to be a Chachim. I'm not sure he gave him a specific position, or he just gave him a smicha. But in any event, Rabbi Yosef ben Achmai was recognized on account of his Adam Gadol status. A similar halacha, v'lo b'chelev, okay, he was animal fat. Bruno Amar Chelev, if you have animal fat, metibatol Shem koshu, you can drip into it a little bit of regular oil, and then you can use it as well. But Yossi boy, so Yossi asked, not sure which Yossi this is, but in any event, he asked the question, Ma ananka if the chalev is dissolved. I feel that's not Shemin. You didn't put oil into it. Vitali Shmuel didn't we learn in the name of Shmuel? Koshim Tikkun also anything which has been dissolved, it's been liquefied. I guess would be a good word for it. If it's not solidified, machlihu. It's considered to be and that's I don't think that I take that back. I think it's koshim Tikkun so anything where we heat it up a bit. I guess the flame heats it up, and it's not solid, then it's considered to be dissolved. In other words, even if it is somewhat solid, but it readily dissolves when the candle is lit. So you don't need. It's fine. You don't need to add anything. It's machli. It's considered to be dissolved. If it's not dissolved, meaning it doesn't easily liquefy. So then, I feel nasa Hashem. You put oil into it. Wash me any good. So Asa b'chenina Rabbeinu Shem Rav said, so he said, this is what Cormier says. This is what he said. This is what Rabbeinu said in the name of Rav. He amended the statement. The chaylev mehutach, which is dissolved, the kirbei dogim, and fish intestines also, which are dissolved. You're allowed to you're allowed to ignite them even without putting in any oil. Rabbi Chia Barashi ani mese kumi rav. So he had a Rabbi says he had a time when he used to come to talk to Rav. So he had an ona time, mese to come kumi rav. So evidently he didn't come on time. So Rav asked him, where were you? Amarle, but boy mashach desires. I had to go find olive oil for Shabbos candles. So Amarle, beloved, said, did you have fish innards? Um, from this we see that fish innards are, again, if they readily, uh, if they're dissolved, or I would say before, if they readily liquefy when you put them into the candle and you light the wick, so then that would be permissible. Eastern time malikim neft. Those who say you can use kerosene in order to light. Eastern time emalikim neft. Those who say you can't use kerosene in order to light. Amar Chesed said, madlikin. The ones who say you're allowed to light. Bahen ichuma. It's black kerosene. I guess a certain type. Umandamar emalikin. So you can't use it bahen chivra in white kerosene. To sakana because it is dangerous. Evidently, as Corbin says, the flames would fly and adhere to the walls of the house, and the house might burn down. Okay, says the next Mishnah. As we finally hit the actual Mishnah, oil of Truma Tmeya you can't use to light an Yontif. So Rabbi Shmuel says, Ein Malim B'Tshua Minei Kovad Shabbos. So each when they cover a Shabbos is some sort of refuse which comes from pitch, and then even though pitch itself is thick and can't be used for a candle, but this substance is what's left after. I guess you move the pitch, which used in construction, and this actually is a good fuel, but they cover Shabbos. It has a bad smell, and therefore it's not covered Shabbos. Use it. Say you can use any oil, shemen shumashmin, sesame oil, shemen agozim, nut oil, shemen snonos, radish oil, shemen dugim, fish oil, shemen pakuos. It's gourd oil, um, bitron, and you can use bitron, and you can use neft. The Talmud says that you can only use olive oil. So it says more the all those things that we said before. The Quran says, "Kol shar tiny el masisim mutlagim biyontif." That use all these things on yontif. It was like igniting on yontif themselves, with except for Shem and Sleifa. So all those things which he said on Shabbos you can't use because we're afraid you might have to fix the candle and be over a mavir on Shabbos. And that's not a problem, and the only exception is Shem and Sreifa because it says it's like burning kachim and yontif, which you're not allowed to do. Shmoma emalikim b'tron b'kunei kova Shabbos maben isha mami kirei dogim. Evidently, fish innards also have a bad smell. So what's the difference? Kirei dogim kosman shein dokim ein reichon ra. Cover reichon ra. The fish innards, as long as they're burning, they don't have a bad smell. Well, they get extinguished, have a bad smell. Each one, bain cover, bain dolak, each one, whether it's extinguished and whether it's burning, it has a bad smell. The Mashbiach learns that this is a question. The question is, if the issue is a bad smell, why does the Mishnah say they cover Shabbos? Say because Rechel Ra. Maybe it's just bad smell. So tell us. Let's just cover Shabbos business. So the Gemara in the answers. So the time we shouldn't say Hov Rechel Ra since it has a bad smell. Okay, have an answer. Yeton Hechakamos Arba Amos. So put it 4 amos away so you don't smell it. Lefum Kain Sarkamema Emalikimbo. That says you can't lie because covered Shabbos, even if this is 4 amos, presumably because it's not covered Shabbos. They have to stay 4 amos away from the candle. So we have a similar statement to the following statement of the Bavli. Amar Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri Ragla Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri got on his feet. Omar said, "He came nice one you Bavel Shein Lam El Shem and Shumshmin. What people Bavel they only have sesame seed oil. Nice one mother. What people media going to do? Shein Lam El Shem and goes about they only have nut oil. Nice one Alexandria El Shem and they only have radish oil. Nice one Kaput Kaya Shein Lam Lo Kach Lo Kach. They don't have either of these things. Ella, Elucha Mashe Hitiru Chacham Rishonim Bilvad. So the Korban Rebbe changes the girsa. And Elu Mashe Us Rishonim. It's flip side, same idea, but in other words, whatever oils Chachamim ask, those are also all the rest are mutter. Tan Shimon Loza Omer Ema Likin Tsuri Mimnei Shu Sraf. This is Carbonated explains. Sorry, it's a sap. Shana Bamir Pri doesn't come from the fruit element. It comes from the wood. Swap Amo, since it's just a sap, Havile Kazevitz, it's like tar, Ben Nimshach, and it's not drawn after the wick. Okay, so now it says the next Mishnah. We'll talk about wicks. Anything which comes from a tree, you don't use to make a wick, only linen. Anything which comes from a fiber, which comes from a tree. It's not Tame Tumas Oel. The oil itself is not Makabo Tuma. Only the kingdom underneath it. Ela Pishtan. Only Pishtan. In that case, the oil itself becomes tummy. If you have a seal wick which you made out of a garment, which you folded but did not singe before Shabbos begins, before Rabbi Eliezer made tmeah, it's still tamei because it's still a garment. If it was tamei, it retains its tuma. If we had the minimum shear of 3 by 3 fingers, then you can't use it for reasons going to explain. Can't use it to light on for Shabbos counts. Rabbi Akiva Meritori, Akiva says the moment you folded it, it is Torah, Maliba, and you can use it to light Shabbos counts. Amar Rabbi Shimon says where? Amar Shimon Bar Rabbi Yitzchak. Steve says La Los Ner Tamid. It should be the candle of Beis Hamikdash should be one which produces a constant flame. The only thing which makes a constant flame, I think it's not a constant, lalos, a flame which rises. So anything which makes a rising and constant flame is pishtan bilvad. Anything which any fiber which comes from a tree doesn't get tuma, even if it's a shear of 3 by 3. It's not considered to make a fabric, which is kabel tuma. I used to make for schach, because it's not a kabel tuma. Except for linen. Rabbi Yossi said, also everything which comes out from the tree is like clouds. So that's a bit strange, right? So whoever says no, not like clouds. Avin begonim avin kigon halavadim. It's like thick clothing, which is like felt, and which is not considered to be a true fabric. The same word ha'avim harakim ein bohem mishum shalosh shalosh. So the main comment says the two different things, not avim and rakim. These are thick garments and very thin garments. So soft is in this case means thin. They don't get tuma in 3 by 3 etzbos. So they don't get by 3 by 3 etzbos, but they do get by 3 by 3 tfachim. In other words, the certain fabrics which are only considered to be fabrics when they reach a shear of 3 by 3 tfachim, not 3 by 3 etzbos. Very fine, very that's what I'm looking for. Fine fabric has is I'm not sure. I couldn't find the word. Very fine fabric is made by 3 by 3. It's both not fine fabric, and even if it's made out of linen, if it's very thick, or the rock very thin, so it's not 3 by 3. It's both is not considered to be chashiv. Only if you have a large amount, 3 by 3 tefachim. Okay, so that's that. So the Gemara says, Rabbi Eliezer said, "Mina mishkan lomdu." It's they derive this from this mishkan. This is going on the the oil is metame. it said that seven times. Okay, next part of the Mishnah. Amar as a Mishkan Lamdu Dechsiv as a Mishkan Tasa Eserios Shesh Masar. The Mishkan is made of 10 curtains of woven linen. Uksiv, and it says, Parei Pishtim Yu Al Rosham. It says that there's a pasuk in Yechezkel. It says that the hats, elaborate hats, a pair of linen will be on their head. So Adlamed Sheish Mi Sheish. So even though it doesn't say the word Sheish in Pari Pishton, but in the Torah it's called it's Nefesh Sheish. So therefore we learn that whatever status hats have, and then Makabel Tuma, so too the the fabric of the tent of the Mishkan has as well. It's Makabel Tuma. So even though normally an OL is not Makabel Tuma, it brings Tuma to whatever's underneath it, and an OL made out of linen is the Tuma, the oil itself is Makabel Tuma. And the more it goes on, elaborates this limud a bit. It says, "Lemid sheish mishesh, linen from linen, sheish mipare, the linen from the hats, upare mipare, and the hats from the hats." So in other words, the linen of the oilim from the linen of the hats. How do we know that hats are linen? Because it probably should be mipare mishesh, right? Because they are. But the point is that the hats are made out of linen. And pare, and then we learned those hats, more other hats. There's the Makabel Tuma. These hats are Makabel Tuma, and all the on the Mishkan are Makabel Tuma as well. Okay, the Revelation Mala says oil me or behema to mayo. Okay, fine, but what about if you make an oil from the or behema to mayo? Is that Makabel Tuma? Right, it's not Yotzim and Eitz. So maybe it's a Makabel Tum or not. So he says, well, he says, what's the question? If we went out from Mishkan, it was saying that the coverings of the Mishkan could become Tameh, so because we went out from the Pari Pishtim, presumably, so therefore the coverings of the Mishkan were also Be'ema Tmeah. So the Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Chaim Rabbanan, Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Chaim both held it was a it's taka chayat meir. Rabbi Meir tiny. It is the a I think that's the name of the animal. Yeah, there are other interpretations here as well, but one interpretation like Moshe is the tiniest name of the animal. L'shem Tzovo Nikra, and it's called Tachash because that was the color of it. It's another type of animal. That's a shame Tzibon Nikra to be as the other interpretation is not clear exactly what that means. The of the some of the articles being sounded that Tainen is actually tchelis, so it's called Tainen, and that somehow is a bluish color. Maybe Tainen in some language means blue. Anyway, I don't. I don't. Strange because tchelis is not derived from an animal; it's derived from a mollusk. Okay, but so anyway, whatever it is, the Tainun assume means that it's name and somehow that in some language that's some color. It was a type of Torah animal, and it grew in the midbar. It was it would only exist in the midbar. Either it only exists in the desert, only existed at the time that they were in the midbar and built the Mishkan, and therefore it is not enumerated among Chayas Torahs elsewhere in the Torah. V'sai k'mekai sai k'adamar Rabbi Lezer, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Vav, Shem Rabbi Shimon Lakish, Shem Rabbi Meir, K'min Chayat Torah Barakush Baruch Moshe Midbar. So here we see explicitly it's only existed in the midbar, and only at the time of Moshe Rabbeinu. Came at Shenigna, came at Asa Bar Melechas Mishkan. Once the Melechas Mishkan was complete, Geniza, it was put into Geniza, it was hidden away. And uh, Rabbi Avonamar, Keresh Hayashma. Uh, uh, its name was Keresh, and Keresh is eminently in form of a unicorn. Tiny Rabbi Yosha, the Chada Keren, had one horn. Tavla Shem Mishor Par Makrin Mafris. It would be, it is better to Akash Baruch Hu than the shore por, which is Makrin and Mafris, and Makran Kosav Rachmana, and that is what it says Makron without a yud to indicate that it was an animal of a single horn, not a double horn. The this brought down Babi and Avodah Zarah, so this Russia as well. So the I'm not sure what the word mafris means. Is it expanded somehow? Anyway, for our purposes, the main word is makrin. So we'll stop here for today. Okay, I did look it up. I forgot there's this Joshua Chazal that makrim mafris, it's karnaim before it's parsaim. It's horn before its hooves, even though normally the hooves come before the horn in the development of the ox, because it was created that way by my Sabracious for Rishon. So it was created that way. But mafris means kipshuto, and it's very strong hooves. It has strong horn, strong hooves. Now we'll stop.